Hello, and I am so excited to see if in actuality I am able to pull off a restream on both LinkedIn Live and YouTube Live at the same time. I know a lot of you have given me much grace this year and signed up for a lot of my sessions that did not show up on LinkedIn, though they did go live on YouTube. And I said, you know what? I'm not letting 2022 pass without me doing it one more time. I had some amazing customer success team members from Restream to walk me through the one thing I was doing wrong every single time. So thanks for joining. I'm not sure if anybody's even able to participate today. This was really a gratitude conversation. So I want to talk about a few things so I can put a bow on this year as I plan to spend the rest of today and the rest of this year with my children, which for those of you who know me, know that it is a special treat when I can have both of them here with me at the same time. I want to talk a little bit about my why. And so you guys know that I met Simon Sinek years and years ago, and he challenged me about my why. I thought I was just really trying to pour into the next generation because I have children in two different generations. And he challenged me in California at a speaking event to find my true why. We know that's his thing. And that was a very painful process. I actually decided to dig deep into who I really am, who I've come from, the trauma and the pain and the tragedy of my childhood. And it was a very tough journey. I'm still on the journey. The journey is far from over. But I want to say a few things about my findings and what I've uncovered in this journey of healing out loud. It's what motivated me to create the mental wealth curriculum. The TV show Creating Mental Wealth was something that I am super passionate about because I know so many people who are well-to-do in one way, financially, family-wise. They're living their best lives, as we say. But from a mental perspective, we are still not having the in-depth conversations that are necessary in order for us to begin this healing. So I made a couple of notes of things that I found helpful for me in this year, and a couple of kind of confessions that I feel like I need to make. So for those who did join onto the live, they get to see confessions in real time, which probably won't happen again for a while. I want to talk first about what I consider to be my invisible disabilities. I have multiple and a lot of people do have multiple diagnoses, but we look great, right? We look healthy, and people will see you out online and say, there's nothing wrong with Sherry. Sherry looks just the way she always did. And what I really want to encourage, especially with the uptick in lives that are being taken, is understand that we all struggle, whether we have been diagnosed or not, with the trauma that was 2020. Whether you have a diagnosis of PTSD or depression or anxiety or all of the above, or any of the other diagnoses, or you have no diagnosis at all, at the end of the day, we all suffered through and we are still feeling the effects of the pandemic. That's just reality, and we talk about that. What I'm excited about is that I have taken my invisible disability, and for the past 3 years been on this kind of a cocoon. And I don't know if phoenixes go into a cocoon. I imagine not. So this is imagining me setting myself on fire as the phoenix sets herself ablaze so that she can rise. The last 3 years, I have had to come to grips with my own invisible disabilities and my shortcomings and my inability to do the things the way that I used to do them before. And you know what? It's okay. Do I have bad days? Yes. Do I have more of them than good sometimes? Absolutely. But what I've been so blessed with is a community, a tribe, a family, friends, people who have supported me in the journey, the ugly days with the ugly cry and the inability to get out of bed some days. It's a crippling disability. But even though when you see me, you may not know that. So keep in mind that the people that you deal with every day, they may be full of joy and smiles, and they could also be struggling. So we move into this next year with a sense of sympathy and empathy, because we never know the weight that others are carrying. And so I've developed a curriculum that will keep us on track and keep us motivated and teach us how to proactively manage our mental wealth well before a crisis is necessary. If you notice on the ticker at the bottom of the screen, it says if you need someone to talk to right now, please call 988. That's a resource that you always have available to you wherever you are, as long as you have access to a phone. There's someone there willing to listen and hear your story, non-judgmental. They're not. It's not the boogeyman, right? So this is something new that rolled out just this year. So if you need someone to talk to at any time of the day or night, any day of the week, there are people waiting to help and to listen. And this is great. This is something I wish was available for my mom and for my dad and for the millions of other lives that were lost the way that they were. So I want to talk about people's invisible disabilities, and don't always assume that your person is struggling with, because most times people are too ashamed, except me, which I can just go all over the internet and say, hey, you know what? Not only am I healing and continuing to heal out loud, but I'm trying to bring as many people along with me as I possibly can, because everything is better in community. And as a result of the community that I have, I've been able to take this time to heal and to understand that I'm not the superhuman that I thought I was. I found out I was actually human. And that was a bit of a shocker to me, because I lived my life as if I could just keep going, even though I was struggling with some of my own baggage, as it were. So I'm talking about gratitude and faith and purpose. They all go hand in hand. You guys know that on my pilot episode, my mentor, John Sally, he's been coaching me and giving me feedback on things to do to prepare myself for this next level, and making sure that I stop, slow down, and say thank you to the people who have supported me and encouraged me and pushed me, and also gave me the space to just heal when that was necessary. The gratitude that I have is beyond words. I love the fact that one of my last homework assignments from John Sally was to study Nietzsche. And so there's a thing called the Nietzsche podcast on Spotify that I listened to. And specifically, he wanted me to talk about the concept of amor fati. And in essence, my paraphrasing of that is that we have to fall in love with our fate, and not just the bad part and not just the good part, but all of it. Because if it wasn't for our bad days, we wouldn't appreciate our good days. And if it wasn't for our good days, we wouldn't even be able to identify what a bad day was. And so they are both very important. They're both very necessary for our growth. Um, I had the opportunity to speak at Mental Health America earlier this year, and I talked about the concept of an apple tree, and understanding the roots of the tree and where you come. There are conversations that our families didn't have because of whatever the reason was. We have the opportunity to embrace this perspective of being in love with our fate. Everything that happens to us makes us stronger, and we have survived. If you're listening to this live or if you listen to it later, at this point, we have survived 100% of our bad days, because we're still here to talk about it. So just, I want to encourage everyone towards the end of this year, as we wrap up 2022, to find those mental wealth deposits every day. When you wake up, that's a mental wealth deposit into your mental wealth bank account, because you woke up. Now, did you wake up feeling great? Maybe not, but you woke up. And so let's start trying to determine the things that are mental in the next year. I don't want to say that this is a resolution because I'm not really a fan of New Year's resolutions for myself. Because to me, I see it as a re-solution, which means we tried to solve this issue and it didn't work, so we're doing it again, which to me sounds like, for me, it's insanity. Like, I don't want to keep trying to solve the same issue that I was trying to solve last year. I want to do that every single day. Like, I want to have a new day resolution every day. How do I make myself better? How do I make the people around me better? And how do I make this thing called life easier for so many of us who are afraid to talk about what's really happening in our heart? So I will wrap this up by saying I am mentally wealthy, and that has absolutely nothing to do with the number of zeros in my bank account. It has everything to do with the gratitude of the time that I have, gratitude of the things that I've gone through so that I can effectively articulate to others who are struggling in manners that I've struggled as well. And having a heart for those who are willing to step up and share, even if it's just on one-on-one, on how they can become better for themselves without the weight and the responsibility of trying to be better for the world. So I just want to let you guys know that I'm grateful for the support that you've given. We have some very exciting things coming next year that I think will surprise a couple of you, but for the rest of you, I think you'll be excited to see some things finally come to fruition in this our year 3. And so know that I am still working on me. I am still actively healing. I am with full transparency. And so there's going to be some good days and there's going to be some bad days. You'll see a healthy combination of both of those. And hopefully, if at least one life has been touched, if at least one life has been changed or saved, then my healing out loud hopefully will be worth it for you and for me. So, on that note, I am wishing you much love and light and peace in the new year. You guys know how to find me. Please do. Again, note the ticker. If you need someone to speak to, if you need someone to just listen, please use the 988 number to reach out. And if you do need any other resources, please do. You can find my page on LinkedIn and access to NAMI and MHA and the American Suicide for American, so the Association for Suicide Prevention. I knew I blew that. But they are resources available. So please do reach out. Have a wonderful new year. And I'm excited to see you all in 23 so we can talk about surviving 100% of all of the bad days that we've had so far. So take care, peace and light, and we'll talk soon. Bye.